accidentally found it. Mining planets. Sounds like somebody's hurt. So we're gonna take a doctor. Let's take Brent. Baby. Sleepy. I keep getting an accent.
I am detecting a single Quarian life sign in your location. Judging by the suit's erratic readings, the Quarian is badly injured. I am also detecting multiple native life signs near your landing site.
Okay.
Excellent.
Yeah. Let's see, we managed to escape the gas nose thanks to some clever work in balancing the science engines. Looking straight on the old ship is too much. The best we can hope for is to find a friendly spot somewhere in the shed system, fuel system. Our reports show that isn't extremely likely. We were nervous getting this close to the Perseus well. We were right to be. At this point, we are afraid we might never see the fleet again. Everything Triad has been through seemed like an ignoble end. The landing was rough, but we managed to salvage the wreckage. The things we need from the wreckage, the things we need to survive. Unfortunately, Lieutenant Commander Gorlat didn't make it, making the senior officer in charge. We've scouted the landscape and found the planetscape being hostile. We didn't dare remove our environmental suits here. We're all hoping to be rescued before there's any danger of exposure. I don't know who or what is taking them, but now we've lost more than half the crew to survive the crash. We hoped to build a camp here to survive until Idena found our beacon. But somebody's hunting us. I'll keep the crew together the best I can. We will send out a search party when day comes. I will find my crew and we will do whatever it takes to return to the Idena. Oh dear. Nothing around there somewhere.
Quarian life signs are stabilized. I recommend securing the area in preparation for shuttle extraction.
Ambush.
There.
One down. Next.
Worthless.
No.
Take it. Nothing can hurt me.
One down. One down.
Burn and die. Stop it. Quick. Ahead. I need to leave.
One down.
Too late. Now you're dead.
Can you do anything with that? we just go? Where'd you go?
Coordinates received. Your DNA inbound for pickup. You've done us a great service. Expecting a ride, Captain.
That was nice. Cerberus paid us to do that. They didn't have to do that.
Launching probe. Launching probe. Launching probe. Probe away. Launching probe. Probe launched. Probe away. Probe away.
meant to do all the mining first, but then with the CG video started when I landed on that planet X. I didn't mean to land on the planet. I hit X accidentally to land. And then
Probe away.
I was like, oh no, what if this is the start of something big? And then we hit record. So I apologize for all that mining videos. I'm trying to do some mining off camera. So what I'll probably do is I'll finish this mining adventure in this one place, and then I don't know. See if I can find another mission to do something at the end. Oh, it's depleted. Thank you. Where am I? Okay. Let me see. There's probably another anomaly hanging out somewhere. I would imagine. Russian 4, there's nothing here. There's somebody carved into the planet, there's nothing here. The scanner says it's rich. It looks like it's rich. Recovered.
Probe launched.
That looks pretty rich too.
Launching probe. Probe launched.
I don't know. Seems like maybe there's something
Launching
here.
probe. Probe away.
They lied to me in carving.
Launching probe.
Where am I going? There we go. There we go.
Probe launched.
Sounds good. Alright.
Probe launched.
I've been listening to an audiobook. My brother recommended me called Red Rise.
Launching probe.
And so far, so good. That was why I was like, I'm going to do a bunch of mining today because I was just listening to the book. A good section of the way through. It's interesting. It's interesting. I'm enjoying it. Takes place on Mars, and that was a world full of good stuff. Look at that. And it's doing a lot. Hold on. There we go. Wait. There we go. Okay. So it takes place on Mars. There's like a whole class system. Basically, the whole. You don't know this at first, and if you don't want to be spoiled on the browsing, I guess. Skip ahead. I don't know, 15 minutes or so. Let's see.
Probe launched.
Sure. And then, so initially you are with the character that is living beneath the surface of Mars as a miner, along with the rest of what one would assume to be like early settlement sort
Probe
of
launched.
caste system that are mining helium-3 in the hopes to help terraform various places in the universe to
Launching
help
probe.
humanity survive, type of thing. Several events
Launching
occur
probe.
that wind up pulling the wool, if you will, off of the eyes of the main character and showing him that his whole life is kind of a lie. Mars has already been
Launching
terraformed,
probe.
most of the solar system has already been terraformed, and that there is massive inequality
away.
going on, more so than he had even known. We could have properly ever expected to imagine with the worldview he had prior to having that thing pulled from his eyes, right? So with this new perspective, he goes under some drastic surgery to appear and pass for, I guess, in physicality as well.
Launching probe.
The upper castes of society type of things, and go off to their
Launching probe.
school, we call it, which is a little more like, I guess, think Hunger Games, but think Hunger Games it was like 300 people or so,
Probe away.
over like the span of a huge territory. I guess almost like, imagine if the Hogwarts houses went to war, but there was no magic. That kind of level of like, you are randomly placed by a sorting hat of sorts into these arbitrary, in this particular case, it's the houses are named for the Greek gods. Or actually, I think they're using the Roman names for the Greek gods. But all the same.
Probe away.
It's something to group people up by, I suppose. And with that, he's meant to go forth and rise to power. Why not have all the things here? Is there a hidden thing? Did I do this? Oh, wait. Is there another? Oh, there is another. Look at that. Where'd that be?
Probe away.
So basically he's figuring out how to,
Launching probe.
let's say, seize power and rise to power amongst these guys, so that, when he gets out of this
Probe away.
hellscape of a school, maybe he can rise to power in society and then somehow translate that to creating a rebellion for his
Probe
people.
launched.
So, right now it's a little, like, there's a book series I'm thinking, Dragon's Blood, I think is the book series I'm thinking of. Again, like, none of the fantasy elements involved, but, like, you have, like, a kid that's trying to rise up in a caste system by pretending to be part of a different part of the caste to show the caste system kind of how incorrect it is. That's not how a person's merit should be judged and all that.
Probe launched.
And then, gotta mix in the, the different houses or districts if you wanted, game-wise.
Launching probe.
A bit of a red planet. Jonathan, what was his name? John Carter? Red planet sort of situation. Anyway, we've got it. Oh, did you see that? Oh, the big spike. Did you see that? There we go. Oh. That's the biggest spike I've ever seen.
Probe launched.
But anyway, I'm enjoying it. There's 2 different audiobooks of it at the moment. Or I should say there's 3. There's
Launching
the
probe.
audiobook that exists originally for it, I guess, and then they've done a dramatization. The audiobook, I should say, is currently, I think, free if you have an Up subscription, as of whatever date it is. In December of 2025, you're watching it now. What was I gonna say? And then they are working on, I think, at least for their first book, I believe is out in its entirety. There is more of an audio drama, split into 2 of the first book. That's like voiced by multiple people as opposed to just one person reading. And then, in addition to that, there is also a audiobook of the graphic novel, which I'm not quite sure how that works. Something about it seems to me that it would be like, same story but faster, probably. So where is this hidden world? There's something else here. Because this is saying, aha! Let's see, dwarf planet. Ooh. Yeah. Only 7 probes on a rich world. Uh-oh. I would use those probes if I realized. Oh, well, now it's just a good world.
Launching probe. Probe away.
But yeah, so my brother was recommending it to me, and I'm enjoying that. The last thing he recommended me was the Brandon Sanderson series.
Probe away.
Something like Lightning, Storm,
Launching probe.
Storm Tracer. No. That was again another rising above your caste system sort of situations. So I like that story. I mean, who doesn't like a good underdog sort of situation where they're being clever and figuring out a way out of a bad situation, and then while they're at it, kind of pull society along with them to be a better place. Okay, so pop over a couple more probes. Nice. I guess. Maybe I left my thing where it was. Oh, maybe you did.
Launching probe.
Yeah, that was kind of neat. It was a very transformative thing. But I was reading for a while. I read a bunch of the books in the series. But Bryan Sanderson is a very prolific writer, and I eventually got distracted by something else before I got to the end of all of this stuff. I think there's like, I don't know, I want to say there's like 12 or more books in the series, which is not an undaunting number. But I was listening to them as audiobooks, and I didn't want to spend like a whole year of audiobook on them, so it's probably one of those things where I left and came back again in another certain life type of thing. But let's see.
I mean, somebody also spoiled that, like, me personally, they were like, you personally may not like the conclusion of that storyline. And I was like, what? I mean, now I need to wait and forget that before I can dive back in. I'm not just expecting the story to disappoint me. But also in the meantime, I had taken out, well, let's see, what else did I do? So speaking of the Greek gods, I started reading that concluded Stephen Fry's trilogy of the Greek myths reimagined, which is the gods, and then the heroes is the second book, and then Troy is the third book, and that's a great time. I highly recommend that. So I had the audiobooks of that as well. I do a lot of audiobooks because I do a lot of writing. The way he, let's say, shares his stories and stuff like that is kind of great because he's like, there's a vibe to how he's doing it, similar to like somebody like, you know, just sharing the tea at a big family dinner, like, oh, did you hear what Zeus has been up to? Kind of thing. And it's highly entertaining. So basically, this is saying that they basically found encased in the ice spacefaring civilization that they're not sure who they are, where they originally came from, but had like made habitats along the planet. But somebody came by and vaporized the habitation center by orbital bombardment from railgun-like weapons hitting with a force of 120 kilotons of TNT. So they got railguns out of, and then so the ones that survived the bombardment had been away from the habitats and were preserved in ice where they died of asphyxiation. And they're saying that they did not come from Asteria, but the scientists, I guess, think they have been there. Also, they're saying that Geth activity has been happening in this area.
Launching probe.
Oh yeah, so
Launching probe.
I enjoy so Stephen Fry reads the books that he wrote on Audible there, so you're also getting to enjoy the melodic tones of the voice of Stephen Fry. It's not a bad way to enjoy any story.
Probe away.
So he's a good time. Highly recommend those. But like we ended with Troy, right? And I'm like, you can't just go to Troy and leave and then not do the Odyssey. So like, as I was getting closer and closer to the end of the Troy book, I was like, surely, like I know this is a trilogy. I'm aware that it's a trilogy, but surely he wrote the Odyssey. He did the Odyssey too. Like, you can't just not do the Odyssey. Come on. And I'm looking on the thing, and these books came out in like 2017, 2018. Or they became audiobooks in 2017, 2018. They probably came out before that. I was like, oh no, he didn't do the Odyssey, did he? And like I couldn't find anything like yada. And then like literally I'm like in the appendix and like the last bit of forward, or I should say epilogue-ness has gone by, and I'm like, no, I'm going to be unsatisfied. And I checked one more time online, and I saw that the Odyssey is now available for pre-order, and I was like,
Launching probe.
now I can properly have my set. And I think he's doing the Odyssey. I don't think he's necessarily doing the Aeneid or anything.
Launching probe.
But yeah,
Probe away.
so I'm finally get that, I'm satisfied, but I'm very pleased that is coming. Icicle, get have been spotted.
Probe launched.
I got some. I've been rereading some of the Pelted Universe books, which are really good. If you ever get the chance to read those, that's MCA Hogarth is the editor, and they were initially recommended me. The first series of it was recommended to me was the Mind Touch series, or I should say the Dream Healer series. Which the first book of them is the Mind Touch.
Launching probe.
And a friend of mine, I was looking for ace fiction with good representation.
Launching probe.
And a friend of mine was like, oh, I've got just the thing for you. And with doubt in my heart, I opened the first book and then proceeded not only to read that one, but within, I think, 9 months, I had read her whole catalog of Pelted Verse related media because it was so good that I really, really enjoyed it. Yeah. Like I pretty much bought all the Pelted, pretty much anything I could find Pelted, Kindle-wise. I bought them all. I bought the first book of the series multiple times and gave that as an to various people. For them to drive as well as Earthrise, which was also a good time. What's the best? Earthrise is probably the best one that I can compare to. Is a bit of a gender swapped Firefly. You have, a motley crew trying to make a merchant vessel work and running into trouble more times than they're running into profit. And then we have, let's see, they have a series on the fleet of their universe, which is kind of Star Trek. And then let me think. They have another series called The Prince's Game, and that there's a lot of political intrigue in that. So it could be like a little Game of Thrones, but it handles brutality in politics differently. That can be a rough go, though, depending on what your what kind of violence or whatnot you can handle in your fiction type of thing, or that would be preferable in your reading books. It's dealing with a lot of subjects that for a lot of people that could be, rough things that you might have gone through, whatnot, where it's people suffering abuse, people suffering from addiction, all sorts of different things where it's handling those subjects very respectfully, but it can be a rough time. But what's very interesting, I think, is that she's like, okay, I know, these books might have those problematic situations in them that might make it that some people would have trouble reading them. So she kind of wrote a I kind of wrote a like summary or guidebook of what's in those books, so that if you're like, I wanted to know what information I need to know to know these books' impact on the wider universe of Cultiverse, but I don't want to go through them. Like, he made that a thing that you could do. I think that's very cool.
Probe away.
But the series I love most is, the series I love the most in that universe is definitely the Mind Chest ones. Although the Earthrise stuff is definitely a close second. There we go. And the reason why, so the characters in Mind Touch are, so we have a
probe launched.
We have
Launching probe.
We have like a character that is like intrinsically, you know, new to the experience of these, you know, imagine if you're familiar with Star Trek, you're arriving on like Deep Space Nine from never really traveling in space before. You've only learned that aliens are a thing, like, you know, within the past year or so, or something like that. Like that kind of like, oh, super fish out of water type of thing, right? And then you have the other main character is somebody that has been like comfortably been within the system their whole life, right? And it acts as you know, that initial guide and friend for our new fish out of water, which is always like a nice way to dip your toes in a new universe, because you know, as that main character is learning things, we the audience have to learn alongside them what this universe is all about. So I feel like that's a really good entry point. Whereas other ones, they might like throw you into the action right away type of thing. That one starts off as like it's really like nice and pastoral in a lot of ways, because it's just a like slice of life in some aspects, but it's a slice of life that is very different than what we're used to, right? It's like you know, they're going to college, so that kind of age feel, right? And then in this like big multicultural, it feels like it's College Planet. I don't know. It's not College Planet, but like I guess the schools on that planet are considered like a you know, well-renowned type of thing. So you know, for as much as we see in the world, it might as well be College Planet to us, because like that's large parts of the world that we're interacting with. Oh, it's depleted. There you go. There we go. We got all the things. This area. 100%. Okay. What is this one? Excuse me, I totally explored the Hawking ETA previously. But yeah, so they're exploring, school and what school really amounts to in oh no, what did you? Okay, what school amounts to in space? No, for like different cultures and how the experience like can be different. Like the outsider to the thing, kind of think of them like in the realm of like. Space elf, I guess, is probably the best analogy because you have very, very long-lived race, but also from a world where it's very rural, right? Like there's not a lot of technology and all that jazz, so. Let's see. I read these books. Practice is the only way to improve. Named for the 21st century pioneer of groundwater remediation techniques. It's Chemoish. Chemoish is an impressive layer of ice over a stony metallic core. Despite its size, it has only one moon, Noah, which shares its carbonaceous composition, leading astronomers to believe it formed following a giant impact. Iridium deposits have attracted miners to the planet who must work through robots and telepresence because of the planet's strong gravity.
Probe launched.
I lost my phone. I lost my phone. Oh yeah, so
Probe away.
one of the guys is essentially like over, definitely over 100. I don't remember. I don't know. So he's over. And then the other guy is like,
Probe away.
He's not brand new to school. He's like in his like third year or so, I think. And they just get on the
Probe launched.
So nice. And then later in the books, like as the series continues, they go into practice together, and then they have various adventures as life inevitably gets more and more complicated.
Probe away.
But in like good way. Like it doesn't like, it's not like making a mess of their relationship.
Probe launched.
Like if it's your cup of tea, then please enjoy. There's plenty for you out there. But I always think that just making the characters have a bad relationship just to have something to write about, it's not for me strong storytelling. I would rather have the meat of the story being some sort of outside force that they're trying to work either against or figure out something versus just chewing themselves up from within. It's outside. It's the big thing. Okay. What's this blowing? Hydrogen-rich gas planet, gravitational field, believed to cleared most of what would be a sizable asteroid belt. Okay, so the gravity from this world has sucked up a lot of the little bits. Data seems to back up that fact from a satellite mission that went following. Lots of impacts on the surface. Okay. And the little, I guess, the probe, its name was Ultimate, has been retrieved and reused on subsequent missions on Space System 4.
Launching probe. Probe launched.
Let's see, what else do we need?
Probe away.
Before I started now, I read all the Mass Effect novels. They were alright.
Launching probe.
Like, I like them. I did not like them. But
so they're understandably not the main. They're not about the main characters of the series. So that I guess they're expanding the universe, but not spoiling any of the game story, which is nice. And sometimes Anderson is involved, which is nice because then at least you have a familiar face. But otherwise, there's not really a lot of familiar faces. Besides, at some point, you do get to interact with Saren a little bit.
Probe launched.
But the characters in it are like you're seeing another agent of Cerberus, so you're also seeing some vignettes of the Lucid Man, and, how he really will go fairly far in doing terrible things to further his cause. Look at all the other planets you have. Oh my gosh. So many. Great. Let's see. Thick atmosphere. Potassium salt. Nothing too crazy there.
Probe away.
Earlier this year, I think I did a Star Trek book called Q-in-Law. That was fun. Q kind of going up against or causing chaos with Lexana Troy, and they're two of my favorite characters from Next Gen, so I enjoyed that very much. Lexana Troy is possibly one of the most amazing female characters in the history of creation, so. And if you disagree, it's okay, you're allowed to be wrong. But I invite you to go back and don't allow yourself to be taken in by the just easiness of being like, oh, I just think she's adoring and everything. Like, behold her and strive to understand her and her strengths, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised to see it. In fact, one of the most amazing characters ever.
Probe launched.
And then, before that I read Stitch in Time, I think it was the Garrus novel. That was pretty good too. I love Garrus. I think, was that one actually written by the actor? I want to say that one was written by the actor. So that's kind of cool to see, when he, because Garrus is a character that's not, I'm sorry, not Garrus, I mean Garrus from here. No, Garrick. Garrick from Deep Space Nine. He's a character that you know, played things very close to the vest, and because of that, you're always trying to guess what was going on with him. So, like, this is kind of like having that book, especially written by the guy that played him. Then you kind of had in the back of your head, now, what was kind of going, or I should say, what was going through the back of his head, if you read it and you watch it from there, type of thing. It's a fascinating character. Oh, there's one more out there. There is an old
Probe launched.
Come on.
Launching probe.
Oh, there you are.
Probe launched.
There we go. Oh, get the move. Oh my god. There's so many freaking planets in this system. Hopefully I had to reload for the same system. Okay, Watson is known in human media for two things: spectacular tides following a large moon and the furious tide over which Earth nations got to settle there first. Watson is a cardinal, but first discovered in 2165 CE, with credit claimed by the Chinese People's Federation, the United North American States, and the European Union. The System Alliance brokered the infamous Reykjavik Compromise, allowing limited compensation from each coalition. Cities comprised of populations from each. Watson itself trends colder than Earth, with a temperate zone measuring 30 degrees latitude in either direction from the equator. Life does not easily map to Earth's evolutionary era. Some islands have species that resemble terrestrial parasitical animals, and others overrun by arthropods. That sounds like an interesting world. It's estimated that at least 2 more generations of xenozoologists will be needed to properly classify all the species of the planet. Fascinating. Relating. Look at that. Oh, sleepy baby, I'm sorry. You up with all my chatter. Oh, look at all the eating.
Probe launched.
Oh, this year, that was a good one.
Launching probe.
Slice of life is not quite correct there, but it is more sort of based in reality.
Launching probe.
And we're down to 8 Slayers put out some light novels in English that I got to enjoy. I've got Slayer since like nearly the start of my anime career. I've been enjoying
Probe away. Launching probe.
Ooh, Eva. I guess Eva. Ooh.
Launching probe. Launching probe. Launching probe. Probe launched. Probe away. Probe launched. Launching probe. Probe launched. Probe launched.